We are Conversational's The New Orange. We have Daniel Cotton from Tennessee, Tasha Shaw from Texas. We have Jason Pekovich from Montana, and Andy Ford from NIC Sales. We're gonna get hooked up here, hopefully in a second. This project actually started at another hackathon that Tosha, myself, Jason wasn't there, he was helping from afar, that we did in San Francisco a few months ago with a couple other companies that were our partners on recreation.gov. This project was a very grandiose project, probably way more than we should have ever conceived of doing in a couple days. But the idea was to combine several emerging technologies to create a system of smart agents to help people find recreation. This was particularly targeting millennials that maybe on Facebook all the time, especially urban millennials. But the idea was that we would create this smart agent in the middle there that would use artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, and integrate this with a number of data sources, as well as a smart technology we planned on deploying that we were building on a Raspberry Pi, deploying it out on actually in remote locations where there's no connectivity. Our team was focused on this initial hackathon on this GoBot Sense, which is Raspberry Pi technology, and the mobile application. We didn't get really a chance to work on the other component, which was the actual Facebook Messenger chat bot. So at this hackathon, we decided we would take a shot at it and see how NIC would tackle that, because our initial attempt was just a Facebook Messenger chatbot. It really didn't meet our architectural expectation that it would be a reusable, intelligent thing that many different agents could integrate with. So we retackled GoBot, which stands for the Great Outdoors Bot, and turned it into the NIC RecBot.
Yeah, so as our team name says, Conversational is the new orange or black, or if you will. It's really being heralded as the third major interface. We had terminal, graphical, and now conversational. And a big component of that is artificial intelligence. The success of it's going to be dictated by the accessibility of quality artificial intelligence. And without artificial intelligence, conversational interface is really just terminal, because you have to know exactly what to say to execute it. And really that was where we kind of missed it on GoBot. It was a terminal service through Facebook Messenger. So that's what we set out to fix this time, and I think we did a pretty dang good job at it. This is essentially our architecture. We list 3 nodes at the top there, but Echo could be, we do have Alexa up there, but any of these new conversational interfaces could be stacked on top of this. The rest of it is a microservice architecture surrounding that artificial intelligence engine. So that top layer is just an integration layer. Its only job is to normalize the requests from those different user interfaces and pass them to the artificial intelligence layer. And the other job would be to format the response in a way they understand it. So not super smart there. Now the API itself has a few jobs here. Well, first, you may have already used it to do your speech-to-text conversion. But in here, there's a few things we need to do. First, we need to change that text into understanding. There's a lot of different ways to say something. We need to boil it down to what did you actually mean. The next thing is to figure out your intent. Okay, I know what you meant. Now what are you expecting me to tell you? And then the third thing it needs to do is gather the entities, which are the identifiers or what wind up being the parameters in the fulfillment layer. And for our demo, it is where are you at and what do you want to do. So I'll let Daniel talk about fulfillment on that bottom half of the chart.
So as Jason mentioned, once we have the intent, the city, location, and the activity that the user wants to know more about, it needs to do something useful with that information. So we created a webhook which communicates with the RIDB database and Google Maps API to accurately get the location and then find the relevant activities within a certain radius around that location and send it back to the user. We also integrate with the 500px service to pull some images for each location and send those back to the user. And we have that working with both the Facebook Messenger and the mobile app, which we'll go ahead and demo for you now.
So we are using API as a service on this. API is accessible, but GPU hosting is still expensive. So if you're going AI, look at one of these platforms. We used API.ai there. Wit's another good one. There are several out there. Before you stand up a big GPU machine and build your own. Oh, so I need a mirror. Oh, I am mirrored now. Hey, this thing's awesome. So this is just our Facebook page. You hit the, if you go to the Facebook page, this is what you would mark it, and you hit the message, and it pulls up the chat window. And like I said, you don't need to know what to say. You can say something, you know, I'm bored. Sorry to hear that. Is there anything you'd like to do outdoors? Yeah, I like to hike. What city are you in? Well, I'm in Austin. And then now it's going, hitting all those data points, and hopefully if I haven't crashed the API, we should see some results. So there's all the, we start in Ridby, and these are all the recreation areas within 50 miles that allow you to hike. So you see, you collect all these things, but it doesn't matter how you get there. You know, if I want to go boating in Dallas, apparently I can't spell boating. I can do this in one foul swoop as well, and I should get boating in Dallas. Or I might say, you know, there's nothing to do in Houston. Oh. Did I misspell that as well? So I was doing this on my phone with the microphone. It was much easier. I didn't have to spell anything. All right, so there's nothing to do in Houston. Well, what do you want to do? You know, I might want to go biking. And it doesn't matter how I say it. It's identifying those key things, and there's biking in Houston. So the point is, we didn't have to train it of all the things I'm going to say, or really anything I'm going to say. We trained it how to understand these different entities, and it takes us down the path. So Tosha's wired this up, the same platform, up to a mobile app.
Absolutely. So as everybody said in my group that it's a centralized API to understand the artificial intelligence, here's the little demo of it. So I don't want to start with anything else. I just want to say hiking, give me hiking locations in Austin. And it gives me nice little list of it with pictures as well as the maps. I can also click on the URLs of the map, and that should pull out the navigation aspect of it. We decided to do this, I mean, we were pretty happy with Facebook when we started it, but we decided to do this in all the platforms because by doing that, we just get so much more flexibility. For example, I want RegBot to be a friend, philosopher, guide. Friend in the sense I could share pictures with it, for example. So if I do send photo, it will send a photo and post it on my Flickr page. I want to be witnessed as, hey, your long-lost friend is in town. You did biking with them. Would you like to do that again right now? And these are the awesome locations that we have. In future, we would like to integrate with the payment service. For example, it's a really good campsite, and a couple of friends are in there, and it can ping you that the recreation site, campground is just $5. Would you like to create a memory with your friends? And that would be awesome, where you put marshmallow pictures and just the scary stories of the campgrounds in there. I always thought of AI just not as the natural language processing. I feel like it should understand the context as well as the emotions. So for example, if I'm stressed out at work and I write a sad emoji, maybe it should ping me, hey, by the way, here's the long drive for you. That's what I like. So as soon as you sit inside car, it plays the right music for you or write the podcast for you. Same thing in terms of philosopher, where if you want to hear whether the universe exists or not, it can, whenever you are on a troll alone, it can probably put that podcast for you. I also would like to end this presentation with the last feature that we have. These are my grandparents. Any grandparents in the house? So my grandparents visited me last to last year, and they are in their early 70s. They don't really speak English. It's very hard for them to be alone in a park. What if they want something? And so we have this accessibility translate feature which will help them through it. So if, for example, if I write you in Hindi, translate thank you in Hindi, it will respond with me that it's Dhanyavad. And on that note, I'd like to conclude our presentation. Dhanyavad.
I definitely needed that thing, trying to figure out what to do here in Austin.